Hello everyone, welcome back to Happy Canada Immigration Channel. I hope you're doing well. In this chapter, we'll discuss how to get Canadian permanent residency without a job offer. To get the most out of this video, please watch to the end and don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for upcoming chapters. So let's get right into the video. In this video, we shall be talking about the Ontario PNP pathway to permanent residency. To be considered under the popular Ontario Immigrant Nominee Program (OINP) stream, candidates must qualify for Immigration, Refugees, and Citizenship Canada's Federal Express Entry pool under either the Federal Skilled Worker Program, FSWP, or the Canadian Experience class. Candidates may not apply directly to this stream. Instead, they must first receive a notification of interest (NOI) from the OINP based on their Express Entry profile. The OINP searches the Express Entry pool and identifies potential candidates who, number one, meet the stream's minimum comprehensive ranking system (CRS) in IRCC's Express Entry system, and number two, meet the criteria of Ontario's Human Capital Priorities stream. More on this later. Candidates identified by the OINP will receive an NOI, which will invite them to apply online to the OINP for nomination under the Human Capital Priorities stream. From this point, selected candidates have just 45 calendar days to apply to the OINP under this stream. It is important to note that applications submitted outside the 45 calendar days will not be processed. If the application is approved, candidates will be notified of their nomination by the OINP, which they can accept and use to apply to IRCC for permanent residence. Let's talk about the minimum eligibility requirements. To be eligible under the Ontario Human Capital Priority stream, candidates must meet the eligibility requirement for one of the Canada's federal high-skill programs, either the Federal Skilled Worker Program (FSWP) or the Canadian Experience class (CEC). Meet the stream's work experience requirements. Have a Canadian bachelor's, master's, or PhD degree or an educational credential assessment (ECA). Report produced by its designated organization indicating that a foreign education credential is equivalent to a Canadian bachelor's, master's, or PhD. Demonstrate a language proficiency level of Canadian language benchmark CLB 7 or above in all four competencies: speaking, reading, writing, and listening. International English Language Testing System (IELTS) General Training Test only, or the CELPIP, which is the Canadian English Language Proficiency Index Program, the General Test only also for English, and the TEF Canada or the TCF Canada. These two are for the French. Intend to reside in Ontario by providing documentation to demonstrate ties to Ontario. Hold legal status in Canada and maintain it until the time of nomination, if they are residing in Canada at the time of applying. The OINP accepts applications submitted while on maintained status. Have obtained the minimum CRS score under the Express Entry system as determined by the director. Meet the additional criteria under either the FSWP or CEC, and possess sufficient funds to cover settlement costs in Ontario. Now let's talk about the OINP tech draws. The OINP uses the Human Capital Priority streams to conduct occasional draws for Express Entry candidates who meet the stream's minimum eligibility requirements and have work experience in one of the following 6 tech sector occupations. Number 1, software engineers and designers. 2, computer programmers and interactive media developers. 3, computer engineers. 4, web designers and developers. 5, database analysts and data administrators. 6, computer and information systems managers. The next one here is the Human Capital Priorities application process. Applicants must have received a NOI from Ontario through their Express Entry profile in order to apply through this stream. A NOI is valid for 45 calendar days, which means that an application to the OINP must be submitted within 45 days. Candidates in the Express Entry pool who have been issued a NOI are advised to be acquainted with the document checklist in advance and prepare accordingly. Let's look at the process overview for applying to the Human Capital Priority Stream. Step 1. Satisfy eligibility criteria of the Federal Skilled Worker class or the Canadian Experience class. Step 2. Create an Express Entry profile. Step 3. OINP identifies candidates in the Express Entry pool. Step 4. Receive a NOI from the OINP. Step 5. Apply to the OINP under the Human Capital Priority Stream within 45 calendar days after receiving a NOI from Ontario. Step 6. If nominated, candidates obtain a nomination approval letter and an OINP certificate of nomination by email. Candidates have 30 calendar days to accept the nomination in the Express Entry system. Step 7. If a nomination is accepted, Express Entry candidates are awarded an additional 600 CRS points and an invitation to apply ITA for permanent residence at a future draw from the pool. Step 8. Submit an application for Canadian permanent residence to IRCC within 60 days of receiving the ITA. That is all for today in this chapter. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this in the comment section below. Stay strong, stay fit, and see you later in the next chapter. Thank you.